Welcome everybody, Crazy here, and we have some really exciting Dead by Daylight news, and that's the fact that Dead by Daylight officially put out the teaser for Chapter 30. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and zoom this in, and also put the brightness up so you can see some of the details a little bit better. First and foremost, they say you can learn more on November 8th, which is tomorrow at the posting of this video, so we know for sure this is definitely the teaser for Chapter 30. Also, there is a magnetic knife strip. On this knife strip, we have the Trickster's knife, the Legion's knife, and the Clown's knife. Also, there is a silhouette of a kitchen knife that has been taken, and also a stool is featured at the bottom of this image. Because the stool is featured so prominently, one would probably assume this killer needed to use the stool in order to reach to the knives, meaning they're probably a short killer. And what's a short killer that uses kitchen knives prominently? Of course, that is Chucky. And I gotta say, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that this is in fact Chucky. Before I go into all those different details though, I first want to cover every basis here, just to make sure we cover everything if there is any other possibilities. So, one thing that came to mind was American Psycho, because on the poster, we have the main character holding a kitchen knife. However, more prominently featured in the movie is the axe. This is one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, so I would figure they would probably use the axe instead. Also, Art the Clown from Terrifier is prominently shown with kitchen knives in the promo materials. However, if you've seen the movie, the saw is, in my opinion, one of the more iconic weapons in that movie. And also, the official action figures definitely think so as well, because all of them feature that as an accessory. Also, many people did kind of wonder if this is a reference somehow to Halloween because of the kitchen knife. Some people were even maybe saying Corey from Halloween Ends, which kind of fills the role of Michael Myers' footsteps, or at least tries to. I gotta say, I don't really believe in this theory here. In my opinion, it's just a normal kitchen knife. Moving on, another potential option would be Springtrap, specifically from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie because he uses a kitchen knife in that movie. Another option would be Norman Bates from Psycho, who prominently uses a kitchen knife and is actually one of the original ones to do so. These two could be pretty likely to be Chapter 30 if it isn't Chucky. However, I still think the stool is featured way too prominently on this teaser to not mean anything, and I think it does in fact mean something to this actual teaser itself. I mean, if we look back at other teasers, when they teased Pinhead, they would have a little tiny pin shown on a dartboard that wasn't originally there, and that was how we were able to tell it was Pinhead. So if they have a stool featured very prominently at the bottom, I think this does in fact mean this killer is definitely short. So I started thinking, what are other short iconic killers? I thought of Sam from Trick or Treat, but he uses that kind of lollipop more prominently than any other weapon. Also, Megan potentially could use a kitchen knife. I could totally see her doing that. However, I think the paper cutter is way more iconic from that movie. So because of all this, I think it has to be Chucky. I literally can't think of any other option for a short killer that's very iconic and a household name and also uses a kitchen knife prominently. Chucky works very well because he does use kitchen knives very prominently. Sure, he does use other weapons and even has his own custom knife in one of the movies, but honestly, these could be skins for him in which they change his actual weapon, and his base weapon could be the kitchen knife. Some examples of how prominently featured kitchen knives are in Chucky is this tweet from the King here on Twitter. You can actually see in the Curse of Chucky trailer that same exact magnetic knife strip is shown in the trailer itself. I think this alone is a big enough piece of evidence to suggest that this is in fact going to be Chucky. There's even more evidence to suggest this. For example, Eric Pope, who works on Dead by Daylight, responded to Gorgira on Twitter where they were asking if the teaser was going to be on the 7th. And Eric Pope says, "What does your heart tell you?" Dwee on Twitter kind of points out that maybe this could potentially be a reference to Chucky because of the heart symbolism shown in those movies. This one is a little bit of a stretch, but honestly, if we do get Tiffany in the game as well, I could totally see this actually being a teaser for that. More evidence to suggest there could potentially be Tiffany joining as well is I'm sure many of you saw this Monster Factory tweet a while back. If you don't know, the Monster Factory is one of the companies Dead by Daylight goes through in order to get the voice lines for the game. And here they have 2 voice actors here. And honestly, in hindsight, maybe this could be Chucky and Tiffany. I'm not sure if they would be a legendary skin, or maybe it would be Tiffany as the killer and Chucky as the power, as I've theorized previously. Whichever way they go, I'm very excited for this, and I hope you all are too. If you have any theories for another killer that is short, uses kitchen knives prominently, and is a iconic household name license, I would want to know, because at the moment, Chucky is the only potential killer I could think of. So yeah, hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe in the fog, everybody.